I've been trying to work out for quite some time how to better organise my stock library. I have a really big library of stock that I've been collecting, photos that I've taken all over the place, and I've sorted them into folders on my hard drive. And I can look at those folders through Lightroom, so I've got them broken down into, say, animals, into background textures, boats, buildings, so all sorts of different things. But I haven't been able to upload them online. I've got a really slow connection where I am, so to try and upload them all to a cloud in the raw format would just not be viable, and I'm continually adding to this stock library, and I was wanting to find a way to actually keep the stock library up to date and keep the workload of me actually having to physically upload everything separately down to a minimum. So I've finally figured out a way that I can upload my high-res JPEGs that I can use if anything goes wrong with my multiple hard drives where I've got it backed up, or if I'm out somewhere or I'm on location somewhere and I don't actually have access to my hard drive, I can access these anywhere that I am. Basically, I have Smugmug, which is a place where you can actually store files. It's a place where you store images. You can also sell images on there. So I've got a lot of folders that I've built up over many, many years, and it's unlimited. So I can put as much on here as I want, and there's no limit in JPEG format. So I've got hundreds of thousands of photos on here from weddings and portraits, but I haven't been using it a lot lately for story art. What I can do now, though, is create a stock library in my Smugmug galleries that I can access that will be broken down into folders, and I can very easily do that. So the way that I've figured out how I can actually keep all of this stock library together and update it as I bring in new files is this. It's the Smugmug publish service. Now, I did have a problem where I believe it's meant to automatically show up in the latest version of Lightroom, but it didn't for me, so I went and downloaded the Smugmug plugin for Lightroom, which is readily available. So I downloaded that and I set it up, and I set it so that it synced the hierarchy, so it's bringing in all of my folders and I can see there what I've got in my Smugmug galleries. Here I've got story art, and then I've created from within Lightroom, I've created a stock folder, and I've started to add my images, but I'm not doing this manually, I'm using keywords. So I've started to add my animals in, and what I've done, instead of dragging everything down there, up here in my original folders on my original files, I am just keywording my folders and keywording the images that are within it. So for this one, every single image in that folder has the keyword bird down here. I've done that with all of the animal ones, and I'll show you how I would do it now with the skies, for example. Skies are an amazing resource to have. If you can keep photographing your skies for your own stock, you can use them in all different situations. So I could put all of these images in one folder on Smugmug, or I could do what I've done here and break it down. So what I'll probably do is break it down into two folders, from the air and from the ground. So I've got everything under skies here, and from the plane here, or from the air, if I actually go and click and highlight all of the images in this folder, all I need to do here is put in the keyword that I want to match up. So this one will be from the air. Now I might also add another keyword, so I'll put a comma and put sky while I'm at it, and clouds. Just in case I'm looking for that later on, I can do a search. But the one that I'm going to use is from the air. So now if I go back down to Smugmug and I click on stock, firstly I'm wanting to create a folder. So I will create the folder skies, and that's going to sit underneath my stock folder. I don't want people on the web finding this, so I don't want it web searchable. I'll leave it Smugmug searchable because I want to be able to find it. I want it unlisted, but if I leave it unlisted, no one can get to it unless they have the link. So I can actually add a password here as well. So you can put passwords and so forth. But I'll leave it here unlisted in case I want to send the stock to someone. I've got that option without putting the password on. Skies is my folder. And what I want to put inside of this are the two subcategories. So I'll create the folder. And then I will create a smart gallery that goes underneath skies. And in this one, instead of zoo animal, which was the last one that I put in here, I will put from the air. And instead of calling it smart gallery, I will put from the air. And create it. And straight away, all of those images are put into that gallery here. And what happens is when I actually go and sync this or publish it, which may take some time the first time, but when I publish it, it will then come up in my categories, and then there'll be all the other subcategories here, and I'll be able to go in to my stock and access any of these, download them as I need to, so I can have direct access to download. I could even download the whole folder if I wanted to. So there's a lot of options there with Smugmug, and I can see everything, so they're organised really, really well. Now what happens if I come back, I've done all of this work, I've got all of my categories sorted out, and I add another folder in. Or perhaps I add some more birds into here. All I would need to do is add the keywords to those new ones. So for example, if these were new and I just added them in and I didn't have them keyworded, as soon as I put bird on each of those, they go straight back into the smart gallery here in Smugmug. And because something's changed, it would give me the option there to publish, and it will only publish what has changed. So once I've got all of these stock images up in my gallery, it's only going to update and publish what has changed. So the new images are the only ones that are going to go up. So that way I can keep everything really organised. So all you need to do is to basically sort out your folders, sort out your images into different folders, and then keyword each of those folders with what they are. You can go further and you can put other keywords in, which means that it helps you to find specific things like rabbit, or goose. There's a number of different animals in here. So instead of farm animals or instead of zoo animals, you might actually break it down further if you wanted to and go into types of animals. I haven't done that yet, but I might do it down the track as the library grows and grows. At the moment, I feel comfortable having a quick flick through the zoo animal folder like this. But that is how you can organise yourself and keep it online and keep it backed up. When I first started taking stock images, I didn't back them up, and I actually only had them on OneDrive. Fortunately, nothing happened, but I didn't take it seriously, mainly because I back up multiple times for client work, but I was feeling like, oh, it's just my photos, I've just taken them. I didn't even know what I was going to use them for, and I didn't hold them with as much value. But I've realised this is a lot of work. This is a lot of hours of going out and shooting things to hopefully use later in composites. So it's really important that it be backed up, that it be accessible, and it be easy to find. You don't want to be storing stock and not know what you've got. So I really hope that helped. There are other syncing publishing services. So if you don't have Smugmug, you might find another one that works. Flickr I haven't tried. Obviously you can upload to Flickr, but they might become public, so just be careful of that. But Smugmug works. Now I did think about using the option of mobile syncing, which you can switch on sync to Lightroom Mobile. The reason it didn't work is because it does not sync smart catalogs. So smart collections, smart catalogs are the ones that we've just put the keywords in and it automatically fills them up with those images. So that would have been a lot of extra work creating extra folders for it to sync into Lightroom Mobile. Whereas this option with Smugmug actually does the smart collections and smart catalogs. So that works for us, and unlimited space. So I hope that helps, and I hope it gets you organised. I know it's sometimes hard to be organised, but it's important and it saves you time.